I understand that we are clear on the end goal here. We share the same vision of Bitcoin needing to win, and you need more resources.
BIDEX tiene dos misiones, es educación desde la parte de abajo y también tenemos que educar desde la parte de arriba. O sea, digamos, el dueño de una compañía puede ser mi cliente, pero la compañía también puede ser cliente de IDEX de la parte de servicios, para que el mundo se empiece a educar y conocer lo que es y cómo funciona Bitcoin.
I am thoroughly impressed that we're going to have this workbook, this level of quality, and the classes and the kids are actually there.
It's tough. I don't sleep as well as I used to, you know, like I wake up early just like get out of bed like, oh man, I gotta get on top of this.
De desarrollarlo, lo hicimos dos personas, Robert Malka y yo, más que todo. En mi mente yo tenía que este contenido tenía que ser interactivo, que estos estudiantes no se podían quedar sentados leyendo un libro.
Las primeras 3 clases es puro sistema monetario, conceptos financieros, historia del dinero. Tú no le puedes plantear a los estudiantes esto es Bitcoin, ¿sabes? Como que, ajá, y ese es el dinero. Pero tienes que realmente explicarle cuál es la solución o la solución a qué que viene a plantear Bitcoin.
Nos costó al principio cuando juntamos todo el contenido, cada clase tenía 15, 20 páginas de puro texto. No puede ser así.
Bueno, Raúl después hizo también muchísimo y yo creo que entre los 4 y después los diseñadores hicieron y lograron pues los dibujitos y el diseño. Bueno, falta bastante, falta arreglar el currículo, volverlo más sencillo. Bitcoin es muy complicado y la idea es simplificarlo a lo más sencillo y de una manera fun.
If it was easy, we wouldn't have to do it.
Entonces, si en el primer cuatro llegamos aquí, entonces en teoría de aquí a aquí es la mitad y cada vez es menos. Se va partiendo la mitad, y a la mitad, y a la mitad, y a la mitad.
Ya que se les empoderó, es como, hazte a un lado y deja que ellos cambien el mundo, ¿verdad?
Y ojalá que todos los aliados, ¿verdad? Que suman, ¿verdad? A este gran proyecto de esta formación, se adhieran el 25 de junio. Que los tengamos a toditos acá. 25 de junio, ahí estamos.
50 personas.
50 personas, ojalá.
Como Bitcoiners, yo pienso que es nuestra responsabilidad, si vemos que hay algo que tiene que pasar, no debemos esperar a nadie.
Bitcoin curriculum in the first nation that legalized Bitcoin as legal tender. And it's like pretty monumental, really.
Yo pienso que la educación de Bitcoin acá en El Salvador es lo más importante cosa en el mundo ahora. Porque Bitcoin sí va a cambiar el mundo de cuestiones como. Y no solo es acá, pero El Salvador va a tener un gran parte en decidir cómo Bitcoin va a cambiar el mundo.
Es el primer diplomado para escuelas públicas en el mundo de Bitcoin, ¿sabes?
Ojalá en un futuro de 3, 4 años podamos decir a nivel nacional hemos dejado un pulso, y hay un pulso, y hay muchos bachilleres.
Considero que el Bitcoin soluciona muchos problemas actuales con respecto al dinero convencional o el fiat, los cuales podrían ser la inflación, el devalúo de la moneda, el poco manejo propio del dinero que está actualmente sujeto a entes reguladores, el cual mejora y agiliza la economía de una manera más moderna, segura y transparente. Es un orgullo ser la primera institución en recibir este diplomado.
So that is all the time I have. I must go now.
Max? No? Any questions?
There is time for questions because we're gonna get some delay because Max is now in main stage. So,
what kind of community support could you use? Is there any way people can give back in a tangible way?
So, miprimerbitcoin.io is their website, or myfirstbitcoin.io, if you want to donate directly to the project, and that helps finance what they are doing. IBEX can't do this alone, and so if you want to send money, they already started in another school, so this is the story of the first school. There's already a second school coming, and then the content will be published under open source, Creative Commons license, so take it, find teachers that you've orange pilled and start doing it. That answer your question?
So it's gonna be online, right? I can stream it and stuff like that.
The movie or the content?
Well, both actually.
So yeah, the movie should be out or ready by October 31st. That's what we're shooting for. And then the content should be out very soon. Right, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. Just after RGB's improvement. 3 weeks.
But if anyone is going to El Salvador in November, the idea of publishing this October 31st is that every Bitcoiner that goes to El Salvador should know that this is happening. And when a government official wants to take a selfie with you to publish, the fact that foreigners are coming to invest into the country, maybe before you take a selfie with them, you ask them, so when education? Right? Do you have a Bitcoin diploma? Because I believe it's possible to make the diploma requirement for high school as of 2023, and so from here on out, every Salvadoran high schooler knows how to back up their own keys and verify transactions and restore a wallet. But there's a bunch of people that work in the government that talk a lot of things about things, so maybe we should know that they can actually do the very basics. So help us ask them, do you have a diploma?
thank you, Carlinho. We have Max here, so we're gonna get going. And yes, please, everybody, if you haven't been to El Salvador, go to El Salvador. It's great, and it's an amazing experience.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is a really great week. I'm looking forward to the conversation because today we'll talk about why privacy matters and why this is something that is inherently important, not just for the Bitcoin network, but for a lot of different things in what we work on. And I'm an economist, so let's start with fundamentals. The human acts, right? We have problems, we need to solve them. We have limited resources in order to get our problems solved. And well, we need to deal with those limited resources in a way that we solve our problems efficiently and that we get a lot of things done. And this means that well, first of all, have to know what are our problems. Right? And this is the uneasiness that we currently feel. Right? We're hungry, well, we need shelter, and we want to have fun, all of these things that we want to get solved. So these are the uneasiness that we feel, right? And this is a subjective value judgment. We need to find out how much we value these different things. What is the most important thing to solve right now? Are you more hungry or more thirsty? And then once that is established, the question of what resources you have available comes next. Because even though you might have really sophisticated problems, you might not have the capital, the tools to actually solve them. And maybe you need to first build some production tools in order to get there. If you want to cut down a tree, you need an axe. And so first you have to build the axe, and that's a whole different process in and of itself. And so all of this is extremely complicated, all of this is very sophisticated, and ultimately the individual is the most skilled and able to deal with this uncertainty. Because only the individual truly experiences this uneasiness of what are your problems, and only the individual has the local knowledge to find out what are the resources available and then to apply them to those specific problems. Right? So in the technologies and systems that we're building, the individual has to be the fundamental starting point, and these should be tools to help him remove his uneasiness as sophisticatedly and efficiently as possible. And this is where the cypherpunk strategy comes in. This is where cypherpunks write code, because this is why we can have a tremendous impact with providing individuals with better tools to defend their property and to use it in a way as they wish is key. And here privacy comes exactly into that picture, right? Because privacy is the ability to selectively reveal yourself to the world, right? To choose how to engage with other people and what to say. And then this choice is, again, part of the problems, the numerous problems that we need to solve, and the infinite complexity in the strategies of how we get there. There's a lot of choice involved here. And there's infinite amount of choices, and privacy is to be conscious about those choices, and to not say something that you don't want to say. And this is the selective revelation. And it's not just about speech, it's about action as well, and physical movement, right? Because this conveys information as well. And here the ability for the individual to be in control of choosing what to say and when is crucial. And this is especially so because, well, there are other people in this world, and even though most of them are incredibly useful and they can help you in a market economy to solve those very complex problems that you have, well, they are also very powerful individuals that can harm you and block you in your way to manifest the solutions to your problems. And here, the way to defend against an adversary, an easy way to defend it, is just to not be noticed by him. And when someone doesn't know that you exist, that you're walking on the parallel street or something, he doesn't even have the idea of starting to rob you, for example. So to be not visible but to an adversary is by far the cheapest defense. And then even though when you might be visible, right, to still have the power to choose how to be visible. For example, to choose not to reveal your entire wealth all of a sudden and at once, or even to be forced to reveal this. This starts to increase and increase the risk levels of individuals, because more and more attackers can come and harass you and steal from you. Right? So the privacy aspect is to reduce the risk of an adversary taking your property. And property is a concept to remove the uneasiness of the future. Right? So when we have capital, we know that in the future we can buy whatever we want. Right? We have the tools to get the shit done that we need to get done. And if that principle is violated, uncertainty comes rushing back to the individual. Because all of a sudden you're naked on an island and you're starving. Right? And that's not good. So the ability to protect your property and the ability to selectively reveal yourself are fundamental to the human need for the removal of uneasiness and uncertainty. And this is what privacy tech is all about. This is a security tool. We need to make sure that our users can sleep at night, right? That they don't need to worry about starving tomorrow, that they have capital enough to support themselves and their family and their friends. Right? And open source privacy preserving technologies are exactly a scalable solution to this fundamental human problem. I mean, Bitcoin itself is already genius in what it does. And to improve the privacy will just make it even more impactful. Right? This is all about protecting individuals. That's what Bitcoin is fundamentally all about. And privacy is an incredibly key tool towards our goal, because privacy makes protection a lot cheaper. Right? And then we remove even more uneasiness. And we can focus on the actual, way more sophisticated and deeper problems that need to be taken care of. Right? And there's still a lot of work to be done, but slowly I think we're getting there. So this is why privacy really matters. And this is ultimately the key to fungibility in money. Right? We want to have a money that removes uneasiness and uncertainty to the largest degree possible. Right? And if you have to worry that whenever you get paid, that there is going to be trouble for you in the future because of the transaction history of that payment, then this increases uncertainty to a large extent. Fungibility, the aspect that each token in and of itself does not have transaction history, they are not unique, they are indistinguishable. right? Which Bitcoin does not have. UTXOs are unfortunately not yet fungible. But this decreases the actual like strategic usefulness and value of the money. So to further increase the value of Bitcoin, we need to further increase its privacy, because that further increases its security and its usefulness and the removal of uneasiness that it can provide to its users, which is what all of this is ultimately about. So thank you very much, and welcome, Adam.
Yes, come. You can sit down here. I have a join market token. So, why are you here? Why are you here in this very room? It's because you feel like there is something in the air. A revolution is brewing. The single largest revolution of your lifetime. And that's the revolution of money. I think we can all agree here that one of the cryptocurrency is going to be the next cryptocurrency of the future. The next reserve currency of humanity. And we probably have a consensus that this cryptocurrency is going to be none other but Bitcoin itself. So, you are here to take a part in this revolution, to make Bitcoin a better money. But what does it mean? How do you make Bitcoin a better money? What is money? Well, we can look at the science that is examining this question, and that science is economics. So, my favorite theory is the properties of good money, and I'm not going to talk much about that. I talked a lot about that previously, but it all boils down to three things which our Bitcoin is not yet perfect in. So, that three things is incidentally corresponds to the research literature of Bitcoin privacy, because guess what? Bitcoin privacy literature is not all about privacy. Privacy is easy if you don't care about block space. So, we have three properties here. That is security, fungibility, and portability. I want to walk you through the entire history of Bitcoin privacy history, but I want to do this in a more systematic way, and I'm going to establish those things right now. So, security is a generalization of the durability property, but Bitcoin wallets don't tend to ruin durability, so I'm not going to talk about that. But we have to account for a couple of other things in security, which is not your keys, not your coins. So, non-custodiality, right? Very, very important. Second, don't trust, verify. So, you should run a full node. That's very, very important. You should validate. And then, there is this question or tension between hardware versus software. What do you want to handle your keys, your money? It's probably not software. Software is soft. Hardware is calcified software. So you want to have a more trusted way of doing your money, and that's where hardware wallets come in. That's about security. Now portability. Portability is about how fast and how cheap you can communicate value to another person. So, how do you scale a blockchain? You don't. Blockchains are inherently unscalable. And that's where the Lightning Network comes in. Now, let's talk about fungibility. There are these three basic terminology that's very often used interchangeably, and that's okay, but I'm not going to do that now. Anonymity is a mathematical tool that you can use to build privacy for the individual. Privacy is your ability to selectively reveal yourself to the world, and private Bitcoin wallets or adoption of private Bitcoin technologies lead to fungibility of a currency, where fungibility, also called indistinguishability, interchangeability, homogeneity, it's about two units of currency. There should be no differentiating factor between them other than the amount itself. There should be no marks on a coin. There should be no histories of UTXOs. That's fungibility. So, on the privacy dimension, I am scoring Bitcoin wallets from point of view of who knows what. So, there are, on the one extent, there is complete anonymous Bitcoin wallets. On the other extent, there is completely transparent Bitcoin wallets. And in the middle, there is a Bitcoin wallet where there is a central third party, a trusted third party that knows what's going on in your Bitcoin wallet, but at least your neighbors don't. However, this is not a silver lining here, because that centralizes power into the hands of a few in terms of knowledge. So that's how I'm going about it. And finally, so down there is Wasabi Wallet 1.0, up there is Wasabi Wallet 2.0. I stole this meme from the Monero guys, so shout out for them. They did down there Bitcoin and up there Monero. But what they are pointing here is something very, very important. It is friction, because ultimately all we want to do here is to enable the user to communicate value to another person. And every friction that we put in their way, making that Bitcoin wallet a worse Bitcoin wallet. It's all about sending and receiving. That's what we wanna that people do as easily as they can. Don't make me think. Another major source of friction that I identified is you should be using a light wallet, because that's so much easier, that's so much faster, so much everything. But now we have a problem, because I just said full nodes are very important, and now I'm saying light wallets are very important, so we have a big problem. But don't worry, in a moment I will show you how we can think away that problem. And now I'm gonna present to you the entire Bitcoin privacy history based on the properties of good Bitcoin wallets: privacy, security, portability, and friction. We started with Bitcoin Core in 2009, right? Security, non-custodial, and a full node. All right. Portability, I am defining the standard portability as Bitcoin Core, so that's the standard for me. So it gets a Bitcoin orange badge. And then it didn't really get in the way of the user of sending and receiving money, so that's pretty cool. On the privacy, for a long time we thought that there might be some privacy on Bitcoin Core, but ultimately I think it turned out to be a knowledge blindness, and maybe that even prevails today, but I would classify it as a transparent wallet, like people know what you're doing with your wallet. Before I go forward, I go very, very forward into 2077 and have a moonshot, trying to extrapolate existing technologies to build a perfect Bitcoin wallet. On the privacy level, it's completely anonymous. We use stored underlying values of confidential transactions and CoinJoins. On the security level, it's non-custodial hardware wallet, full node on portability, is using cross-input signature aggregation, bulletproof Lightning Network. Something very interesting here is that this setup is actually, if you use this setup, it's cheaper than using normal Bitcoin transactions. So that's the holy grail of Bitcoin privacy. But then, it's a full node, and it's a light wallet as well. So how is that possible? Well, in the future, computation is going to be getting much, much cheaper. Terabytes of data gonna be nothing. So maybe all we have to do to get fully validating light wallets is to wait. Next, in 2011, Bitcoin wallet became the first light wallet. It's also called the Shieldback wallet because Bitcoin wallet is an interesting name for a Bitcoin wallet. But in 2011, that was okay, I think. So it was the first light wallet. Oops. Something very interesting here. This wallet is only using a single address for every single thing that you're doing, for a single address. Yet, you can see that I gave the same privacy score to the Bitcoin wallet as to Bitcoin Core. It's because I'm taking a bird's eye point of view, right? Like 10 minutes presentation, that's much time. There is like a lot of difference in privacy, but ultimately they are both transparent to an outside observer. So the next iteration was actually the very first privacy improvements were centralized mixers. They created confidentiality for the first time of the history of Bitcoin, but they compromised on a shitload of other properties, right? Like, it's not good. And most importantly, security. That's one of the things that Bitcoin privacy research is focusing on very heavily. They were able to steal your money, and they were able to de-anonymize you. But that was a milestone. Next, shared coin from blockchain info. Who heard about shared coin here? Interesting. That was widely popular, hugely popular Bitcoin wallet. It was the first CoinJoin implementation that was used. So it improved upon centralized mixers that it now was not able to steal your money. However, it was still confidential because blockchain info users were sending their extended public keys to the servers of blockchain info. And an extended public key is your entire financial history, so you were not very private against blockchain info, right? Anyhow, finally, for the first time in Bitcoin privacy history, Join Market has delivered an anonymous Bitcoin wallet. This is, in my opinion, the single largest milestone of Bitcoin privacy. This was huge. It compromised a lot of friction though, but that's okay. So, non-custodial and full node. Interestingly, even blockchain info was sending extended Join Market was sending extended public keys in early days to Broker.io, but the developers quickly realized their mistake and now it's a full node only. So I can say that it's an anonymous Bitcoin wallet. And then 2018, my project came around, Wasabi Wallet 1.0. It was the first light wallet that enabled anonymous Bitcoin usage experience. Right, you can see that it's like one step backwards, two steps forwards, right? Like there are more. We compromised on the security, right? Like it's not a full node anymore, like CoinJoin Market was, but it's a light wallet, so more people were able to use Bitcoin anonymously. Now, yesterday, I was on a panel, and some of you guys have mentioned that I failed to mention a specific project. And don't worry, I got you covered now. So you got what you asked for. So in 2019, Samurai Wallet compromised on the privacy compared to previous Bitcoin wallets because it was a confidential Bitcoin wallet. Samurai Wallet was in existence since 2015, it just had no privacy, it just advertised itself as a privacy wallet, but anyway. So it is, just like blockchain info, sending the extended public keys to the Samurai server. Fun fact, they were sending it to blockchain info previously. So, and no, Bojo is not saving you because you can be anonymous by yourself. You have no idea who you are mixing with, probably with default users. Anyway, that's a little detour.
It's also missing dark wallet, no?
So actually shared coin came out previously, and I couldn't like put dark wallet because, I mean, yeah, sure, I put Samurai Wallet in there even though it didn't improve anything, but people were asking for it. But yeah, I actually did not forget about dark wallet. It just in a timeline it did not add anything meaningful. So that's it. And then Wasabi Wallet 2.0 2022 came out, and what it improved upon is the friction. Finally, the first Bitcoin wallet that enables anonymous user experience without friction. It's a send and receive wallet. So that's the state of the art today. If you would like to use Bitcoin anonymously, then you either use Join Market if you prefer security through a fully validating node, or use Wasabi Wallet if you prefer a frictionless user experience. That's where we are. So where are we going? In 2023, there is a mysterious Bitcoin wallet that is going to jump in the pool, and for the first time in Bitcoin privacy history, it will enable hardware wallet CoinJoins. So that's actually the announcement at the end of this talk, which I am almost there, but let me wrap up, let me summarize. Anonymity is a mathematical tool that you can use to build privacy for the individual, like building a private Bitcoin wallet. And Max talked about why fungibility is important. I am talking about how to make Bitcoin fungible. Well, adoption of Bitcoin privacy technologies leads to fungibility of a currency. So I'm gonna show you how that will happen.
Definitely running Windows.
The first anonymous Bitcoin wallet, Join Market.
Yeah, I will know that.
Feel free to dance.
No, I can stand up, but I will not dance.
The Join Market developer. Look at how he sticks out of the crowd.
Yeah, my anonymity set is bad.
But don't worry, next Wasabi Wallet came to the party. I think I'm not gonna show these videos.
You have to enact it now.
Oh yeah, let's dance. Like Ethereum people. And finally, the Bitcoin wallet that is delivering privacy for hardware wallets is none other but Trezor! All right, so Trezor was supposed to be the fat guy. I can say fat because I'm fat as well. So, oh, there you go. There you go. Woohoo! And then there is an inflection point that's going to happen, and that's how we are going to achieve privacy in Bitcoin. Now,
There is a red dress, a samurai.
Samurai users are also welcome using Bitcoin privately. So, can you guys spot the Trezor user? The Joy Market user? Not anymore.
So let me just add a few words. Thank you, Adam, for this wonderful presentation. It was even better than I imagined. And as Adam said, like, we have joined our forces with Trezor and Wasabi Wallet, and we are going to introduce the first hardware wallet option to do on-device CoinJoin early next year. So that means that every Trezor user will be able to use CoinJoin provided by Wasabi without their coins leaving the security environment that Trezor provides. So I'm really happy that this is happening, and I'll be even happier if we deliver this feature early next year, and if all of you are going to be using it, because we are all going to be using it, right?
Okay, we have time for some questions, maybe? Okay. I'm gonna go first in order. So, going to the back. It's a very interesting cup.
Thank you for the talk, Adam. Adam, is there anything that you do appreciate from the Samurai guys? Have they added to the Bitcoin space since 2015, in your opinion?
No, it's you know, I think they are net negative because you know, have you seen my history timeline? There weren't too many projects ever since Samurai Wallet started doing their mixing technique. It's because they are so aggressive against every newcomer that I think everyone is afraid of, like, getting into, even just using these technologies. So sorry to disappoint you, but that's my answer.
It's a good question, and just to keep it technical, what I'd like to highlight is that Samurai was on the phone, right? And doing a anonymous wallet on the phone is very, very difficult. You know, like, block filters are tough. I mean, check out Breeze Wallet, which uses block filters, and it's terribly slow, right? So there's a huge friction trade-off here. And I guess having a confidential, but not anonymous, lightweight mobile wallet available, that's definitely a net positive. But we're working on getting that one anonymous too.
Where was the next?
Will CoinJoin be available on existing Trezor models?
It will be available on Trezor Model T. So yeah, I'm not really sure about Trezor Model 1, because there is a lot of computations going on, and it might be possible, but I'm 100% sure about Trezor Model T.
Thank you. Any other one?
Are the security complications all figured out now and it's just a matter of implementation, or are there other things that are being worked on right now?
Is that a question for me? Or
yes.
Yeah.
For anyone who knows, basically.
Yeah, it's just a matter of doing it, basically. What we spend most of the time is basically, Trezor is a stateless device, so it doesn't really know what's going on outside. So in order to implement CoinJoin correctly, we had to come up with a way that the other participants of CoinJoin can provide a proof that the input doesn't belong to the device that is actually mixing. So, because since you are signing CoinJoins non-interactively on Trezor, you open a whole new possibilities of hacks, or classes of hacks, which can let or make Trezor signs different. I mean the same transaction but slightly different. But with these proofs, the Trezor can be 100% sure that the other inputs doesn't really belong to it, and it's safe in that regard. And this is already figured out. I think it's described in SLIP